Most of us are aware of the Hindu epic Mahabharata. It's an ancient story about good versus evil, about dharma or righteousness. The story is so popular that there have been countless retellings of it over the years. But in all these versions, one thing is common, the fact that it's a long story. If you want to read the entire epic, it can take a toll on your time. So we thought, why not summarize the whole epic into a single episode? We tell stories that have a beginning, a middle, and an end. This story has all three in less than 30 minutes. So what exactly is this story about? Well, let me explain. Once upon a time in ancient India, there lived two sets of cousins, the Pandavas and the Kauravas. They were fighting for control of a kingdom. Things came to such a head that they decided to settle their dispute with a war. Thus began the great 18-day war, the Mahabharata War. In those 18 days, many battles were fought. Many warriors died on both sides. But there was one battle that stood out from the rest, a battle between two of the greatest warriors of their time, Arjuna and Karna. Let's get into the details. Arjuna was a Pandava. He was considered the best archer in the world. His arrows would never miss their target. Karna was a Kaurava. His birth story is tragic. He was born out of a curse. His mother was the daughter of the king of Kashi. She went to live in the forest after she found out that she was going to give birth to a son out of wedlock. When she was giving birth, a celestial being approached her and asked if she wanted any boon. And she asked for her child to be invincible in battle. The celestial said it would be so, but he would only remain invincible as long as he did not use his divine ear ornaments. One day when the boy grew up and was practicing archery, his ornaments fell off in a lake and thus he lost his divine powers. But he was still a great warrior. Why am I telling you all of this? Because the story of the Mahabharata War cannot be complete without mentioning him. Both the Pandavas and the Kauravas had assembled an army of great warriors, each wanting to prove himself to be the best, to earn a place in history. Among the Kauravas, Karna was the star. For the Pandavas, it was Arjuna. But their friendship was deep-rooted. They used to spend time together before the war began, practicing archery, honing their skills. But as the war progressed, they became bitter rivals. Day after day, they fought. Neither could defeat the other. Then came the 18th day. It was the final day of the war. The Pandavas and the Kauravas were exhausted. They had suffered heavy losses. On the Kaurava side, there were only two strong warriors left, Drona and Karna. On the Pandava side, it was Bhima, Arjuna, and Nakula Sahadeva. Now here's something you must know about Bhima. He was ferocious. He was a great fighter, but he was not very smart. In fact, he was hot-headed. That day, Bhima picked a fight with Drona. They fought for a while, but Bhima was getting the better of Drona. He got cocky and made a mistake. He left his mace for a moment and went to pick an arrow that had fallen off Drona's bow. In the blink of an eye, Drona disarmed him. He took Bhima's mace and smashed it to pieces. Nakula and Sahadeva jumped in to help, but Drona was too powerful for them. Just when it seemed like the Pandavas were going to lose, Arjuna picked up his bow and shot an arrow at Drona. Drona fell down, mortally wounded. Before he died, he named Karna as the most capable warrior of the Kaurava army. Now that Drona was dead, Karna took over. He fought bravely. He managed to hold his ground even against the three Pandava brothers combined. But then came a moment that changed everything. As the sun began its slow descent towards the horizon, Karna's chariot was struck by an arrow. He was bleeding. The Pandavas and the Kauravas gathered around him. They were anxious. Who shot the arrow? To everyone's surprise, Karna replied, "It was Parikshit, the son of the blind king Dhritarashtra." Karna was shocked. Why would Parikshit do this? Was this the thanks he got for saving Parikshit's life during the war? Parikshit was escorted to Karna's chariot. He was just a young boy, no older than 20. He said, "I'm sorry, Karna, but I couldn't bear to see you kill my friends and relatives anymore. I had to stop you." Karna replied, "Your aim is true, but your heart is even truer. Tell me, what boon do you want from me?" Parikshit said, "I don't need any boon, but my grandfather, the blind king, he needs one. Will you grant him a boon?" Karna nodded. Parikshit said, "My grandfather wants to see the entire Kurukshetra, the battlefield, the corpses of his sons and grandsons, the living warriors, everything. Can you arrange that?" Karna agreed. Using his divine powers, he lifted Parikshit's grandfather, the blind king, up to the sky and showed him everything. Just one problem, though. The blind king could only see what was below him. He could not see Karna. So Karna used his powers again to make himself bigger, much bigger, so big that the blind king could see him clearly. And in that moment, something incredible happened. The blind king saw not just Karna, but the entire universe. He saw planets and stars, galaxies and nebulae, black holes and quasars, the birth and death of stars, the evolution of galaxies. He saw time and space in a way no human ever had before. He also saw the past, the present, and the future. The future. He saw the rise and fall of civilizations. He saw natural disasters, wars, famines, pestilence. He saw humanity at its best and worst. The blind king was overwhelmed. How could all of this be happening and he not know? What was the point of living a life without experiencing all of this? The blind king was so overwhelmed that he lost his balance and fell off. Karna tried to catch him, but he was too late. The blind king, Dhritarashtra, fell down and died. Now you might think this is where the story ends. Well, not really. You see, before he died, Karna had promised Parikshit that he would grant him a boon. So Karna kept his promise, but with a twist. Remember how the blind king died because he was too overwhelmed by the vastness of the universe? Karna didn't want this to happen to Parikshit. So when Parikshit asked for a boon, Karna told him, "You can ask for anything except the power to see the universe." Parikshit was confused. Why would Karna deny him the greatest boon? But then he realized he knew nothing about the universe. How could he possibly ask for something he knew nothing about? So Parikshit asked for something else, something he understood: revenge. He wanted the power to kill Shalya, the king of Madra, and the uncle of the Kauravas. Why did Shalya die? Well, let me explain. When the blind king died, his brother, the emperor of the Nandas, was furious. He sent his general Ashwatthama to kill Parikshit. Parashuram was relentless. He attacked the grieving family. He chopped off their limbs. He blinded them. He killed their children, their wives, their servants, anyone who was associated with the blind king. Only Parashurama was left alive. He found him hiding near the river, and he raised his sword to kill him. At that moment, Parikshit wished he had the power to destroy Ashwatthama. Now, when Karna granted Parikshit his boon, he made sure it came with a caveat. The new king had to use his power wisely. He could only kill Ashwatthama if the latter attacked first. Parikshit waited patiently, and when Ashwatthama charged at him, Parikshit killed him. He avenged his family, and that is when he learned a valuable lesson about patience and restraint. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with your friends and family, subscribe for more updates, and don't forget to like and comment. See you next time.